Hello everyone. Well, I'm started another project here. This is an Accurail Pullman Standard covered hopper undecked, and I have painted it in Zito Yellow. We're going to make a new CNW covered hopper, so show you what we're going to be doing. And I used Krylon paint from a can, mixed it into an airbrush to get this Zito Yellow. Here are the three different cans of paint that I used. Some Krylon Gloss White, Krylon Sun Yellow Gloss also, and then also just a clear gloss finish. Now I mixed this gloss white and gloss yellow into a bottle and mixed them up till I got the consistency, the color that I wanted. Took a little bit of trial and error, and the majority of it I think is, believe it or not, a little bit more white than yellow to get that Zito Yellow. And then after I painted the models, I put a coat of gloss clear on it, because decals tend to stick better, adhere better. You get less film showing on a glossy surface than you do on a satin or a flatter surface. Despite what some people will tell you, they do stick better on the glossy surface. So we mixed these paint up, these two colors up, white and yellow, in a bottle, mixed them up, and then poured them in my airbrush jar, and gave the shells and all the parts a good coat of Zito Yellow. This is a really good book that I picked up quite a few years ago. It's a little pictorial on Chicago Northwestern freight cars. Some nice color pictures in it of different models, and actually different eras also of the models. Very well illustrated. Really nice book. So on page 78 of this book is the Pullman Standard covered hopper that I am going to try to model. It is number 752168, and I've also found this model on Railroad Pictures Archive, so I have a couple pictures to actually kind of go by. It's not going to be perfectly exact, but it's going to be pretty close. Now I'm going to make my own decals for this model, most of them anyway. All the reporting marks, CNW, the Cappy, all that, I'm going to print up myself, and all this other real fine information here, you know, such as warning, open the hatches before unloading the car, and so on. And I downloaded these heralds, these logos, off the internet, Chicago Northwestern logos that I have a lot of logos, but I didn't have any that said Chicago Northwestern System. I have a lot that say employee owned. So I'm going to make my own, print my own logos. And how I do that, my printer doesn't print white. So what I do is I actually paint some KD blank decal paper, which is what I like to use for all my decaling when I make my own decals. I just paint the paper white, put a gloss coat of white on the paper, and then I can run it through my printer, print the logo on it, and it will have the white lettering will show through as it's supposed to. And you have to, the only drawback on this is I have to trim very carefully around the edges, around the red edge, to try not to get any of that white on the red edge, and around the black edges also. So I have to trim it really close to keep that from showing up. And but I've done it before. It's a little tedious, but if I make a mistake, I can print another one. Also, the numbering on that car, I can't do that font, that particular font, so I have a whole bunch of old Harold King caboose decals for their Zito Yellow, Chicago Northwestern Zito Yellow cabooses that they painted up during the 80s. So I have a plethora, a huge supply of these decals with a lot of numbers left over, so I can utilize these numbers to number that car because it's the same style numbering as was in the picture, and they're about the same font size, I believe. It's pretty close anyway. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, and you just stay tuned and we'll see how this project comes out. I might add also that I have printed up these lube plates. The upper lube plates on this sheet are the style that I'll be using, and these were actually copied from some micro scales decals that I have, so I just make copies of them so that I don't run out of a supply and have to buy more. And anyway, I just print these on some white decal paper as well, and just cut them out very close to the edge, and they work out pretty good.